After completing my painting, or rather I should say, after it completed me, I decided to walk back to my room. I found the voices on the balcony. Then I went to sleep on my bed fully clothed. A moment later, a rap at the door. A shy person with a mask brought in a cart with eggs, orange, and what looked like mango juice, toast, and several yogurts with fruit. They bowed and left me to it. I tasted everything, then lay back down to sleep a little more. A moment later, I got up, showered, looked in a closet, and found a fresh white t-shirt that was there. I put it on. I poured the coffee from the carafe, which was still pretty hot. I sat on the deck. The bird sounds were gone. The voices were still asleep. Again, a knock at the door. I opened, and Chang was there, in the same robe I had in my room with some silk pajama pants. He smiled and bowed. I gave a tilt to my head. We closed my door, and I followed him. In the atrium, the antenna had had the scaffolding removed. I first saw Lynn standing next to a box below the antenna, looking distant as we crossed gazes. All around the rounded room, except in front of my mural, were 24 or so people in the same white robes. Chang stood in the corner. I moved to my mural, looking at it in the morning light. It just looked like a plain painting now. Last night I had lost myself in some other fantasy. Perhaps it was for the best. I didn't know what difference it would make. Then between a row of members came Dracunin, still dressed in black. In his lapel he had a tropical-looking orange flower. He looked at peace. Then behind him it was Parker, looking nervous, possibly a little bedraggled. He wore the robe too with the tiny red umbrella. I felt unsurprised. He wouldn't look me in the eye. Chang and Parker came to the center.
So, well, we voted, and we are the two who shall be considered, and I shall speak first. For the disabled and deformed, who in vain seek immortality, may we accept its gifts and its curses alike.
The crowd nodded or bowed in affirmation.
My brothers and sisters in red, we have thus far had to accept as much change in a few short years than our organization has ever had to. I choose to embrace that change and have chosen one who has the flexibility to accept that change. His soft power is known to us by now. Neto Vicious, as we can see, is an artist, and I refer us to taste number 101. It is better to create than to destroy, and it is better to absent ourselves if we cannot feel the difference. So the Dowser said, may we dedicate ourselves to creating a new world on these principles. I seek to serve our cause in humble deference to understanding this deep in my soul, should I have a soul to keep. Thank you.
Chang took a step back towards me. I nodded to him, unconsciously, as if to give him the approval he desired.
Yes, well.
Parker looked uncomfortable, but he stepped forward.
Would you have me beg for your votes? Quote scripture? I could do it, but I know what you'll all think of me. I won't dance around it. I have gotten to know the immortals, and he who has chosen me, who I have chosen, is... You speak of soft power. That is naivety at its worst. Give him the chance, and we will have the necessary tools to fight the approaching darkness. It's no use, Dracunin. They've decided.
Parker stepped back. From their robes, I saw the members, minus Parker and Chang, remove what looked like a rose pin.
We shall say, right for Chang, left for Park.
Around the room, you could see faces wince as they pricked their hands. Then they raised their palms. Lynn and only one more only raised their left. Parker breathed a sigh of relief. Chang appeared to tremble, tears in his eyes. Wiping their hands with a prepared wipe from their pocket, the members moved back to the outside of the atrium and sat. A chaise longue of black velvet was brought to the center of the room. Chang lay upon it, nodded to Lynn. Dracunin sat with Parker on the periphery. He looked unperturbed, more intrigued by the proceedings. This was the jumping-off point. felt my fangs grow, mysteriously. What did I want? A person in scrubs came up to Chang with an antiseptic wipe or something. Chang waved them away, embarrassed. Lynn looked at me. Somehow I knew to nod to her as well. Then, the technology came, familiar yet different. It undulated and shook my core, not unpleasant this time. Immediately I felt like I was going to fall asleep, but I resisted and gathered my focus to my mural. Concentrating, I imagined the Ouroboros spinning, and so it began, shaping, growing. The water reeds began to extend. I looked over at Dracunin. He too seemed concentrated. I saw sweat coming down his brow. Seemingly, could there be tears as well? I approached Chang. His eyes were closed. My fangs indeed had some memory. When had I used them last? So long ago. To avenge a lover. I split my attention to the mural. I could see the members were spellbound by its spiraling shape. Inside it was a portal. I could feel his darkness being summoned. But also balancing, yes. I could feel Agatha. Agatha was there. And Baba is in the room. I startled. The portal receded. The art began to falter. How little I'd grown. How much still I was the boy afraid of the forest of my youth. I felt myself take a step back. I felt myself go sleepy. And just before I was to faint, I opened my eyes. I could hear the voices scream in the distance. What story? I heard myself say, but inside my head was a different one. It was Dracunin.
You're not the hero, and neither am I, Netto. But together we can be unafraid. Leave your art alone. We must clean the canvas now. Come, brother.
We're much more alike, I think. I felt myself split, out of a lifetime of exhaustion. All it took was a little lean. I saw the reed, the bend of the reed. I heard something snap. And we were one. And it was not unlike being aroused from a deep sleep, or like a walking sleep, like a dream within a dream. And we advanced on Chang, and we sunk our teeth into flesh, and we drank, and we were transformed, and we barely repay any mind his interrupted screams.